In this example, we're going to talk about the cash budgeting process. And it's a fairly complicated process, so I've already input some data here. But let's think about what we need to know. We need to know about our sales forecast. So here is our sales forecast, and we're going to assume that month one and month two we already know. So 2 months ago we sold $100 of stuff. Last month we sold 200. This month we expect to sell 400, then 300, then $200. Now, for sales, things typically happen, at least in the business world, in a sort of a delayed fashion. So some of our sales will be on cash, but quite frankly, probably not a lot of them, but especially in larger corporations that are selling to other businesses. Half of the money from our sales we receive in the next month, and 30%, the remainder, we accept in the last month. Now, we also could have put a line in here to represent bad debts, right? People that have purchased from us, but they don't pay us back. So we could have put that in there as a line as well. And there could be other cash receipts that we expect, and we can put those in here however we want. So now we see what in these next 3 months we expect $210, $320, and $340 as cash inflows from our sales for the last several months. Now we also are going to do the exact same thing with our purchases. Now purchases, at least in these examples, are all based on sales. So typically what our rule here is, it says that here's C7, right? Here's A15. 70% of our sales, right, purchases are going to be received in that month, right? So we're going to get those sales. It's 70% is what we get, or 70% of our sales is what our purchases are. We pay for 10% of that the month of the purchase, 70% the next month, and 20% the month after. So again, as you see, 10% of our sales that we expect, of our purchases that we expect to get in month three, we pay here. Then here's the next 70% is here, and then the final 20% of those sales are received out here. And there are also additional expenses, cash flows that we know happen. We have to pay rent every month. We know what our wages typically are per month. We know we got to pay taxes quarterly, so we can put those in there. We might want to buy some plant and equipment. If we've borrowed money, we know that there's interest that has to be paid. Maybe there's a dividend payment. Maybe we're paying off some of our debt. And of course, we could have some miscellaneous areas. So now we have our cash receipts estimation, and we have our cash disbursement information. So now we put that into a table here. And again, we're only interested in these last couple of months. You can see that our net cash flow in this third month is actually negative, and it's actually negative in the next month too. That's not terrible. All that tells us is we need to be, and that's the purpose of this, we need to be aware that in these months there is going to be a challenge with gathering some cash or having cash. We start the month out with $50 in cash. That's what we ended up with the month before, right? So what's the ending cash? Well, $47 is what we end up with in cash, because we started with 50, so we only have $47. Now, we have a minimum cash balance. We never want to go below $25. So if you take the ending cash, subtract out the minimum, that tells us whether or not we have too much cash or not enough cash. In this case, since it's a positive number, it means we have more cash than what we need. So what do we do with this $22? We can either go to marketable securities, we could put it there. We could maybe pay off some of our notes payable, right? But there are several things we can do with this, or we, again, just store it temporarily. So what about the next month? Well, we started off with what? We had $47 is the cash we ended with. $98 is the shortage. So our ending cash is negative 51. Again, we always want to make sure we have at least $25. So that means we're going to need, or we have a shortfall of $76. So where are we going to get that money? Well, we already used this 22, so that means we need 76 more dollars. We're going to have to borrow that money. And then likewise, we just follow through month after month. The idea here is for us to identify months. We could even do this by the week if we really wanted to get pretty granular with our analysis. But we could really drill down, find out what our cash needs are expected to be on a monthly basis. If we're having challenges, looks like we might be having challenges here these couple of months, we need to look at what we're doing, right? Think about this. I mean, 30% of our money is just out there hanging for over 2 months. 50% is 1 month out. Maybe we need to figure out a way to get people to pay us quicker, right? Maybe we need to figure out how to slow down some of these payments. Although, again, 20% out here, we really don't want to go much beyond 30 days because that might be bad for our suppliers. Anyhow, so this is the basis, the basic idea of cash budgeting and planning for a more of a monthly operational kind of a budget. Look forward to seeing you next time.